Cool. We're live on Facebook. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Staci Mehas-Lewanski. And so I told many of you that I would be coming on 40 days, not consecutive, but 40 days. This is day 2 of 40. And that I'd be bringing on really cool, high vibe people. And so I had an intuitive feeling, I've had it for a while, that I'd be like interviewing people on the podcast, doing lives, sharing like what comes through me intuitively. So today, organically unfolding perfectly, Staci and I are here, and we're just here to chat. And it's not like all official, just really like a good chat, sharing what's coming through us. And so I'd love to say hello to Staci. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, David. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to launch the conversation by just asking, like, why are we here right now? Why are we here?
I think one of the reasons that we're here is we want to really show up authentically wherever we go, whether it be an impromptu Facebook Live, or when we're voxering each other as friends, or we're out with our friends, or we're in our work environment, or we're coaching somebody. You and I have really discussed in depth since COVID has begun, how important it is that we want to show up organic and authentically. And yep. We've had some really great mentors. There's people that we look up to, like Michael Beckwith and Shivali Sabari, that literally just show up as themselves everywhere they go. And that's something that me and you have talked about. We just want to show up wherever we go. And this is one platform where we just want people to get to know us. You want to do this 40 days of intuitive, speaking live, just to talk about various topics that are near and dear to your heart. And I think one of the topics for us is authenticity and following intuitive tugs. That's 2 of our favorite topics, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Authenticity and following the tugs. I just shared it with Heart of the Matter, but I'm listening. Multitasking. Yeah. All right. So yes, authenticity, following the tugs. Why is that? Why is that one of our favorite topics?
I think it's our favorite topic because when we follow the tugs, it always yields like fulfillment within us. We feel like a calm presence, something that overtakes us that says, you're on the right path, like this is what you're meant to do. And then how many times have we voxered each other and said, man, I followed my tug and then I met this so-and-so and this resource popped up, or this idea.
All day, every day.
Like, so much momentum happens when we just follow our own inner little baby tugs.
Yes. And what you've taught me, Staci, is to really stay in awareness. And every time I've done that, it's like the instant manifestations.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like the other day I was at the pool and the dragonfly came in and I was just like sitting there with my kids in the pool. I was like, stay in awareness, stay in awareness, stay in awareness. Don't let the ego, don't let the mind like hijack this moment, and just stay in awareness. And then it's like instant manifestations.
It is. It is. It's just being in the now. And I think that the people that are watching today, they might say, well, what does awareness mean? What does it mean to be in the now? Being in the now means that you're able to just, like, if you're watching this Facebook Live, you're just able to be here with us. You're not allowing your thoughts to take you like, oh, I have to go wash the dishes. I have to go make that phone call. I need to worry about what job I'm going to have in 6 months. Where are my kids going to go to school? All of those thought patterns, all of that robotic monkey mind has consumed us for too long.
Yes.
And David and I are here to showcase and embody what it means to be in the present moment.
Absolutely. In this new air, like you like to talk about this new air. What's the new air?
The new air is the one that we can breathe in. It's the one that everything is equal. It's the one that everyone shows up as themselves. And our true self is peace, is utter and true peace. So wherever people are on the conscious scale, where you're clueless and have no idea what I'm even talking about, or if you're totally aware and you're like, I love this, I want to surround myself with people like this. Wherever you are on the conscious spectrum, being in awareness, being in the now, being in this new air means you're showing up as your truth. And whatever blocks you from that, there are many ways right now that people are coming out of the woodwork to help you with. Coaches, therapists, healers, somatic healers, EFT, I mean, online courses. People are coming out of the woodwork in their creativity, in their whole self, saying, hey, this is what I've done in my life to help me. Here's what I could help you with. And I think that you and I are are going to start explaining to people what we can do to help them on a new
Yes.
level.
In this time of great change. And there's so many things shifting. And if we're really staying in the material world and seeing this change, it's really scary and it's really hard. And so we're trying to marry the material world with this totally different dimension that allows you to stay in awareness and to see that these things are part of the great change. It's a great shift that's happening, and this is not, everything's happening for us, even though it's really hard right now. And where there's pain, there's the most growth.
Yeah. Well, I think what we forgot about, and something that I want to remind people about, is that you have a sixth sense. You don't just have five senses, you have six. And the sixth is your gift of intuition. It is a higher frequency. You can call it God. That's what I call it. I call it God. God, higher intelligence, something bigger. There's something smarter. There's something wiser that considers everything. It considers your well-being and the greater good for all. That when you tap into it, just sitting in your essence, being in the now, you're like an open channel to get this guidance. And it starts off as a little tiny whisper. And since we forgot about that for our whole life until today, right now in this moment, now that we remembered that we have it, let's start tapping into that. Let's start using that sixth sense more than any other sense. Let's use that sense. Sometimes you don't, although the world is in chaos and we can't see it, I can feel that the shift is occurring. I could feel this beautiful, soul-filling, higher power shift that's taking place right now within all of us. And it's up to us to tap. If you tap into that sixth sense, that thing, that different thing, that higher realm, that spatial feeling sort of thing, it's not a woo-woo. We all really have this thing. You tap into that, your world, your perspective, your life, your focus, and being able to be in the now moment will happen easily, organically. It's just how it is.
And so we met we met a couple years ago through the Shefali courses. Like, we met virtually, but we never really talked. Maybe comment on each other's posts.
Tell them how deep that course was, so people understand the depths of stuff.
Yeah, thank you. So this course was called Year of Manifestation with Dr. Shefali. It was 2017, and it was 52 hours on Tuesday nights, so a whole year, and then 52 hours on Thursday of meditation. So 104 hours, plus a Facebook group of like 600 people across the world who are now like all of our good friends. And just that alone was, and Dr. Shefali said on the first course, the first day, she said, you will not be the same person at the end of these 52 hours.
You will not recognize it.
You will not recognize yourself. And that's what's happened in the last 3 years. But so we met through that course, which is really cool. And I had shared my vision around like schools and a lot of things that was coming through me, again, talking about the intuition, like the little crumbs of during meditation and all these things that were shifting and changing for me. But then when we really started to get to know each other was March 13th, the day that I closed my school, and my material world was literally falling apart. Like, oh my gosh, I have to close the school. Like, I was scared to death. And then this woman, Staci, ends up on my Boxer or I think we're Messenger on Facebook, and it was like, do you understand in your amazing rev up high vibe, like, do you understand what's happening right now? And I was like, yes, I want to start a group of like healers and people coming together to basically heal the planet, because I can see and sensing this with my sixth sense that this is a great time of change and a great shift. And we need all the light workers, we need all the therapists, coaches, teachers. We need everyone to come together and like arm in arm come together and help people. And then that's how we just started Boxering. And like through that, we've learned that the work that we're doing on our internal landscape is literally changing the things we're experiencing on our external.
Yeah, that's what's happening. And that's what all we want people to know, is that when you tap into that and you have support, when you have great support and really good friends that listen and care about what you have to say and really value the sacred relationship between friends or the support that you get. So if you could just find one person or one group. David has a great group called Heart of the Matter. I have a women's group called Women's Wisdom Within. And I also have a page called 40 Days of Meditation. So if you have nobody, you can join those groups. And you could be a part of a support system where you're actually heard. Yes. And once you're heard in life, everything changes. So you need the support, you need your intuition, and you need people. You need the support.
Yes.
Parts. So, so that's what we've done. And through this, so now it's been, I don't know how long it's been. How many days have we been talking morning, noon, and night on
like
Vox?
90 days, like 90 days on Voxer, like since March 13th. So maybe 3.5 months.
3.5 solid months of delving into all the things that have manifested from tapping into our intuition.
Yes.
And it's been unbelievably remarkable. Like, what has happened in your life, David? Tell people, like, in the short snippet. Can you tell
I mean,
them
there's so many little like stories that I know that Staci will appreciate, but I think the biggest manifestation that happened is that a few years ago, I got this message to like start this web platform that would help people across the world reimagine education, really rethink how we're leading and then how we're healing. And so when COVID hit, it was like I got supercharged and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my time. Like everyone's like, you're starting a new business during COVID. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like this is just coming through me. So then it just started organically unfolding where I had, started interviewing people on the Heart of the Matter Facebook group, and like all these people just started joining, and I didn't do the old style of like, do this and do that and try and get all these people to join and manipulate it. It was just like flow. And then all these amazing, amazing soul beings just joined this group. And now it's like this massive high vibration, like over 100 people. And none of that was planned. It was all unfolding. And like when I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. And then I started interviewing all these people, like just rapid fire. Like I think I interviewed 20 people in like 7 days in the Heart of the Matter group. And I just started posting it up. And it was just, I wasn't even thinking at all. And what Staci kept saying to me is like, don't think, just flow. And so I just started doing it. And then after about a month, I was like, oh, this is that idea I've had for like 3 years. But because I didn't actually lead with the mind, but I led with presence and awareness and just followed the breadcrumbs and followed the pieces, then it was like, then my mind caught up and it was like, oh, you have 20 people that can go on a podcast. You now have the foundation of the business you've been wanting to launch for 3 years. And everything just came together like rapid fire. And it's been like 3 months. And now I'm just kind of like, oh. And throughout this whole entire time, you've been on the Voxer saying like, stay in awareness, stay on the breath, hit your meditation, eat healthy, like take care of yourself, clean up your space, be with the right people, make sure. And then these amazing people are coming in. And then the men's group, like I did one Facebook post. And all of a sudden I have these like 10 amazing high vibration men that are like, we want to rise in consciousness. We're ready. Like help shepherd this, and none of it has been written out, planned out through the mind. It's literally just staying in awareness, staying in my meditation practice, staying in my exercise practice, trying to eat as healthy as possible. And it's all just unfold. It's like this crazy experience. But let's talk about that for a little bit. And then I want to talk about the stronghold. Because that is where when people are listening, they're going to be like, oh, whatever. These people are like, these people are just so great, whatever. Like, let's talk about the dark side of that.
Talk about the dark side for sure. Yeah. Well, when we're experiencing hard times within ourselves, so when we're in flow or we do something and we love it, and then within 24 to 48 hours later, the vulnerability hangover that Brene Brown likes to talk about. For those of you who don't know Brene, she's the most brilliant like psychologist in the world, psychologist who does a ton of research on people, and she studied suffering and vulnerability. That was her main 2 topics. So you can see her on TEDx. But what she talks about is when you follow your intuition or ego, either one, what happens within 24 hours to 48 hours, could be 5 minutes later or 24 hours later, you begin to feel vulnerable and stupid. You begin to doubt yourself because the mind wants to get involved in your plans. It wants to get involved in the flow, and it'll convince you, and it's in cahoots with your mind and your body, and it's in cahoots with your nervous system, and it scares the shit out of you. And it'll tell you what you did is wrong. These people don't want to hear you. Who do you think you are? You think you're somebody? We're going through a global pandemic. Racism is on the rise. Who the hell do you think you are speaking up right now and leading a new mission, or starting a new men's group, or starting Heart of the Matter, or starting a coaching business, Staci? Who do you think you are? And that's a real voice that happens with all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
And we talk about this as a stronghold. David, explain how it feels. Like, what is that feeling?
Oh, just hearing you say this my back started tightening up, and I started thinking about all the voices and all the inner chatter that's like, why are you doing this? And, you know, like, who do you think you are to go on 40 days? Like, who are you? You're a piece of crap. Like all the stuff that those parts of you that come through. And it's so powerful. And its whole job is to keep you from not expanding and just stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. And so it's really, really powerful. And you and I will talk about like, what's the moment when you like eat the ice cream, or you, you know, whatever it is where you, the granola, ice cream with granola, like when you do that and you're kind of like, or whatever it may be, like for me, it's my caffeine, you know, others have their, everyone has their vices. And it's like, I just had 4 cups of coffee because something happened. I got a little trigger. And then that little tiny voice that was saying like, you're a loser, or you shouldn't be on Facebook Live. Who do you think you are? And I've been through a lot, very traumatic things in my past. And so I'm working through a lot of that, but it's like that little inner child that's like really scared will come in and be like, don't do it. Don't do it. And then it's like real, like the stronghold like grips you and everything, your body constricts. And then that's the fear. That's just like the fear cycle. And then you listen, and then you go and you find people and they say one little tiny thing that's going to create the evidence you needed to write your PhD dissertation on why you're a loser. You're like, if I just go outside and talk to people, I'm going to have 100 citations of why I'm a loser, because they say one little thing, and then you interpret it as like, you're stupid, you're dumb, why do you do that? Your hair looks terrible, your nose is too big, you're, you know, whatever your fears, whatever your deepest worries are, you're going to manifest and reflect that. And so you're going to find it. So if you keep your thoughts on that all the time and aren't careful with the stronghold, that sucker will take you down.
Sucker's going to take you down. It's going to make you want to abandon your body. So we will start grabbing for whatever is our medicine, whatever our self-soother was for me, I'm 44 years, whatever my self-soother is, whether it's to scroll through Facebook and just drown myself out in that, watch some more YouTube videos on how to self-development, all these things that take me away from just being in the now moment of being vulnerable. You know, that's what we do. And then most of us will just stay stuck in the pattern, in the rabbit hole, and just say, that's too scary, I can't do it anymore. But because we've done enough of the inner work, because we've delved deep, because we've surgically removed some of the pieces within us that have limited us, because we've discovered who our inner child is and got to know him and her, we got to know them meticulously, how they work, because we know that our nervous system is in cahoots with our mind, and they are together, they're a bundle. We have our higher self, our essence, and then we have this bundle of fear. And we know how powerful this is, but we know that we're the awareness of it. We're not this, we're the awareness of it. Because we studied enough, we paid attention enough, we were committed enough, that when the stronghold hits, spontaneously we say, here's the stronghold.
Yeah.
You can do that
and
right
you and
now.
I, but here's the thing, we know, right? We know, like we'll share it with each other and say like, hey, I'm in the stronghold. And then I'll respond and be like, yeah, I can tell by your voice. Like, oh my gosh, am I going to get this? Am I going to get that? Is that going to happen? Is this? And it's like all the worries that you can just, Michael Beckwith calls about, like you put the record on repeat, and it's just the same autopilot, worry, fear, doubt, lack. And even with the work we've done, we can see that and we can move through it faster than we used to, but it's still very real.
Very real. And it's still there. But our level of, the good news is that it takes us less time to get out of it. Not get out of it, but be one with it and understand it's part of the process. So if you do something daring, something bold, you will be tested. I'll never forget Oprah on one of her shows, was when she was first starting with the no carbs years ago on her Oprah show. And she's like, I am giving up bread, you know, I'm giving up carbs. And the next day, the vintner's truck pulled up, or whatever the potato chip company was. Her favorite thing in the world is potato chips. And she was literally tested within 24 hours. The Bible talks about this. All spiritual teachings talk about this. When you boldly declare who you are or step up, you will be challenged with the contrast, whether it's the that you manifest within your body. It is inevitable that your mind will do this no matter what.
Yes. Even the most enlightened master has some version of this. Maybe it's like minuscule, but it's smaller, you know, for them, but it's
Still
still
arises. Yeah, it's still going to arise.
And Martha Beck calls it the change back attack, and you like to talk about it as a cha-cha, you know, like
Yeah,
it's the dance of like you expand, you start to expand, you start to come into your full essence, your authentic self, the most highest intelligence reflection of yourself. And then the stronghold comes in and is like, no, 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 no. We need to slow this roll. Like slow your roll.
Protect you. Yeah, we need to. It lies too, and it says I'm protecting you. You cannot move forward. You won't be able to handle this. You won't be able to handle how big this is and how big your mission is. So just stay quiet, like everybody else. Every other good little girl in the world stays quiet. You stay quiet, and just do your typical thing. You can go right back into sales and be the #1 sales coach in the world, Stace. You know.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because it's another thing that we really vibe around is you and I have talked about like the Steve Jobs of the world, or, you know, fill in your billionaire, like super successful, and how things are shifting now, and that type of externally driven leader. And we weren't Steve Jobs, let's not go that far, but like we had our version of that, which was to like produce, work. Everything has to be hustle, difficult, you know, and like you were a master salesperson. I, you know, climbed this ladder in the school system in like 9 years. I went from like teacher to opening 10 schools and becoming the like chief schools officer. Like we knew how to play that game in this world of external, you know, the form world. And we're now kind of allergic to that. And we're working through that allergy because we know that's something within, but we also can see a vision of the future of how this new air and this new earth is unfolding around how we're going to lead, and how those are that's a dying paradigm and the dying model of this hustle, kill yourself, work so many hours, have a heart attack at 40, all that. Right?
Oh yeah, manifest illness, chronic back pain, migraines, soothing yourself at night with drinks or drugs or pills, who can't wait for happy hour. You know, those are all indications that the success plan is being birthed by ego, because essence doesn't operate that way. When you manifest a life of flow from your own level of what you think success is, not from what the standards in society is, you yield a very different life. And this is not to disregard people in sales. So I don't want anybody on here to think that I'm, you know, saying that I'm something better because I'm no longer a power seller. It's not that.
Thank you for saying that.
What I'm saying, and what David is, what we're saying is that there's a new way to bring forth whatever you do from your essence instead of your ego. And your ego, don't think it's egocentric. That's not what I mean. I'm not always talking about a cocky person. I'm talking about your ego, which is the conditioned self that has to fill out check boxes of what success means from society. Somebody came up with a list, and we're supposed to abide by that list, and that means success. Okay? And so that no longer
What is that? What is that list? Let's talk about the conditioning. So for us, it was like, for you, it was hitting your sales targets. For me, it was like a little bit, it wasn't in the sort of like making money, but it became that feeling. So what is it? So it's hitting your targets, like hitting your goals, this external validation.
Calls a day. If you don't, you will not be a success. If you don't do 10 calls a day, you will not be a success. So it's kind of like
a nice house.
You know, you could be matter of fact and say, this is a fact. You know, when you call 10 people, 3 people do it and 1 person executes. You could be matter of fact about your stats, but the way it was implemented in the sales world is like, you're a loser if you don't do these things. You're a lazy POS if you don't do these things. So the idea of success was that you are a machine. You are not a human being. You are a machine who has limitless potential. They'll even use those words, limitless potential, if you follow these lovely steps, you know, and you will make $200,000, you know, and that is the old paradigm. And what we're talking about, the shift so the list would be, you make X amount of phone calls, you friend all these people on Facebook and then pretend like you like them. You like nothing's organic, nothing's real. It's all a fake illusionary world of just trying to get the outcome. The outcome matters more than the person's well-being. You know how many people that I counseled on November 30th for 10 years because they were sick to death at 11:30 at night when the goals were due at midnight, and most people hit their goals in November, and they were so sick inside their bodies. What they had to come up with in 30 minutes, $10,000 more between a team of 1,000 women to try to get that money in 30 minutes, and they were physically ill crying in the middle of the night. I was like, it can't be like this, guys. Like, no,
I'm like feeling it in my back right now.
Way.
As you're talking about it, I'm remembering my experience with, even though it was a nonprofit, of like having to hit the numbers with student recruitment and having to ensure that you had certain scores on your tests and all these external things, and how we kind of lost track of the kids. But yeah, I'm feeling it because that is what we are conditioned to do. And the new way is really what I have experienced by accident in the last 90 days, which is staying in awareness, staying in flow, being the witness observer of your thoughts and of the stronghold, and letting things just flow with ease. So the school I started 5 years ago, Growth Public Schools, now it's in its 5th year, to get 100 families to enroll, I was up all night, trying to figure out the strategy and the metrics and the tools and how many doors we'd knock on and how many people we talk to, and just like burning the candle at both ends to get these 100 families. And what has happened with Heart of the Matter, we have 100 people in the group, and I haven't even thought about getting 100 people in the group. Right. It's just been showing up authentically, sharing a vision, staying in presence, tapping into a source that's so much bigger than anything the mind could ever imagine, that it just unfolds. And the universe is progressing. The world is happening. Life is happening, whether we want it to or not. But we think we have to control every single movement. No. And that's exhausting. And the body gets tired.
Exhausting. Oh, I can't do it, David. I can't do it. All I can do is make genuine connections. All I can do is show up authentically in myself. All I can do is admit when I'm vulnerable to the people that I care about, and we work through it, and work through it myself. And if I can teach any leaders or salespeople or parents or, whatever I know for sure, because I've lived it in my life, it's that you get everything you want and then some beyond your wildest dreams. When you stay grounded and you birth everything from your essence. And that's the shift that I'm talking about. Just, living in the present moment and not just so much overdrive. And that's a burnout. And you'll see in companies going down, companies closing, especially during this time, because their business wasn't sustainable.
Right.
It was based on these falsities, and the ego no longer can breathe in this air, as we've seen. So essence is here, it's arrived. And I think a lot of people are ready to make those big changes and to feel good about what they're doing.
A lot of people.
Selling.
Yes. A lot of people are ready.
There's a new era. You can sell, your e-platform, or your Heart of the Matter, or your men's group. You don't even have to sell it. You just have to be yourself, and whoever's drawn to it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in selling it. No, I'm not interested in selling it. Because if I want to sell something, I would just be going into some business aspect that would be like, how can I make tons of money and sell? This is like a birthing of just a reflection of my highest self. And that's exactly when you're in that place, and it starts to totally flow.
And you know what else I was told throughout my sales career is that you're going to hate a lot of stuff that you do, but you do it anyways. And something in my body was like going like this, no, I'm not doing it. And so what I want people to know is that you should love the process. Yes. Don't do your job if you don't love the process. And when there are aspects of your job, so for me, like actually marketing myself was a huge stress to me. But I work with you, and I work with another man who is a coach. And we actually worked around the stronghold I had about marketing myself. And technology is my biggest, it's my biggest block. But in sales, they'll say, too bad, BIT, keep going. You don't have a right to care. You just keep rolling, baby.
Right.
And you know how
Right.
sick people get in their jobs when they have to do stuff that they hate day in and day out, and then you're told, too bad, that's life, keep rolling. There's another way. You can actually love every single bit of the process and love the process. If you don't love the process, what are you doing it all for?
Right.
And so we found in the process of us being our true selves and birthing all these new ideas, there's some things that we don't like to do.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
when we sit with them and we like literally delve and we stay in awareness, we stay in our truth more than our troubles.
Yeah.
Organically, the intuition comes and we're like, that's why I hated it all this time, because my 14-year-old self is crossing her arms. She's so mad. And don't make me do another thing. Why
Yes.
you keep making me do things that I hate to do? But when I tended to her and cared for her, the energy dissipated, and I'm writing things that Steve Jobs wished he was alive right now to see what we're writing. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
So
you're really talking about resistance, right?
it's resistance, man. Resistance is what stops us. Whatever doesn't keep you in the now moment and your thoughts, whatever keeps you from that is where you need to hold it and love it.
Mm.
And then the resistance just dissipates. Such a beautiful process, but I think we talked about a lot today.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think this is a great part one of many parts to come. The Staci and David show.
Yeah, we
Super
should.
fun, super fun. I mean, I think we should just close. I'll close by just saying that the call to come on here was not from the mind. It was from higher intelligence. And I did go through a process of being like, I can't keep going live. I just can't do it. But what I'm understanding is that you just got to go one step at a time, and you got to follow the breadcrumbs. You got to follow the call, and just keep taking a step forward, and getting closer to who you really were meant to be when you chose to be in this time, when your soul came here to this earth at this time. That if you can get closer to who you're really meant to be, and just keep dissolving that false self and showing up as your real self. My real self is who I am right now. And when I walk out of here and go talk to my kids, I'm not going to be any different. When I go make a presentation tomorrow, I'm not going to be any different. This is just who I am. And so going to these public spaces and showing up totally authentic, that's the like thing that I'm practicing right now. And my chop wood, carry water moment, the Buddhist concept of like, just keep chopping the wood and carrying the water, and then everything happens. So I'm going to focus on being here almost every day. We are in the middle of moving our whole entire house. Like literally there's boxes everywhere. You can't see it because I moved it.
I don't know. I know how you don't know.
Yeah, but like Staci said, like we're not in the old way of like, oh my gosh, you're moving, everyone's stressed, kids yelling, the husband and wife are fighting, and it's like we're just staying in the flow. And so it's a hard time, but it's a hard time because there's a lot of material shifting and changes, but we're just going with the flow, and I'll be back on in a couple of days. Staci will definitely be coming on several times because we're just like soul brothers and sisters. I've known each other for thousands of years, and it's just super fun. So
Thanks for having me.
that's it. Yeah. Do you want to tell them any final words before we close out here?
Final words. We're all in this together. We're here in 2020 for a reason, all of us. Everybody matters. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has a message. I'm really willing to be open and listen to all the ignorance that I've had in my life, and I'm willing to listen, but I'm also not going to be dim in my light anymore.
Yeah.
And showing up authentic is more important to me than any other thing. And I hope that when you watch anything from me or from David, that you know that it's all from heart. It might be hard, but it's all heart. And when you live in this place of your heart and from your sixth sense of intuition, your life unfolds so beautifully that flow is the organic isness of what is. We are peace, we are joy, we are courage, we are loving, we are interconnected. We just forgot because our mind has been running the show. And now it's time to tap into something different, something we can't see, but we know. And that's our sixth sense. I love everybody.
Absolutely.
And I zero harm to anybody. And I really just want to help people 150,000%.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was going to say too, is the reason we're here, that's what I started with and I got distracted. The reason we're here really is just to serve. And it's really to serve with our capacity, because we've done a lot of work on ourselves and we are by no means perfect. That's not what we're trying to say. But we're here to kind of share the journey we've been through to help others, because we know, well, I'll speak for myself. I know that in January of 2017 that I really did have a lot of these tools, but they were just like dormant. And what the course with Dr. Shafali and meeting all these amazing people has done for me is really literally wake those pieces of me up. And when you start to wake those pieces up, it's a really, really amazing process. And people that are ready, we're here to serve in whatever way, shape, or form. And I'll put in when I go back and edit, or put the title, and I forgot to put the title. Some people are like, "What's going on here?" Next time I'll put a title in the description. We're learning. It's all part of the process. Yeah. So I learned how to record it now. I learned how to go live, and I know a lot of things. So now I'll put the title. But anyway, I will put in your Women's Wisdom Within group. You can tell me all your different things to put on there. I know you got like Staci with an I, and we'll put them all in there. I'd love to have people come join Heart of the Matter, which is really about leadership, reinventing schools, and healing forward together. And yeah, and we'll be here. I'll be here for the next 38 days, not consecutively. I'll be here 38 more times. And Staci will be here a bunch. So thank you guys. And let me just check if there's anyone who's commenting on anything. Okay, we're good. Hey, Rick. Rick said yes. Megan Barba said, can't stay but coming back to this. Okay, and Sarah, your friend Sarah, said she had to go, but she's funny. Had to go work call that I need to do. Wink, but I'll rewatch later. You guys do truly vibe. Okay, I'm glad people can see that this is all authentic. Cool, okay, well, that's it for now. Signing off, thanks everyone. And Staci, thanks for making the time. Super fun. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.